I saw her do it. The final revenge nobody expected before death. My wife Alara was perfect. Too perfect. The way she smiled, the way she managed our home, the way everyone in town adored her. But I saw things, small things, at first. A purse clutched a little too tightly when a bill arrived. I was a wealthy man, a fact that had always seemed to please her. But lately, I'd been feeling ... off. Doctors called it a rare degenerative illness. My muscles grew weaker each day, my words slurring. They couldn't explain its rapid progression, but I knew. Or rather, I suspected. The first time I saw it, my heart nearly stopped. I was in my wheelchair, pretending to be asleep in the living room. She thought I was out. She glided into the kitchen and pulled a small, unlabeled vial from the back of the spice rack. She measured a single, clear drop into my evening tea, her movements precise, almost surgical. Her face was a mask of calm concentration. My blood ran cold. She was poisoning me. Slowly, methodically, making it look like a natural decline. Why? For the inheritance, of course. All my wealth, my estate, everything would be hers the moment I was gone, and I would be declared a victim of a tragic illness. She was the grieving widow, the saint who cared for her dying husband until the very end. The perfect crime. I tried to tell someone. I tried to tell my lawyer, my oldest friend, Mark, but the words wouldn't come out right. I would slur, she single quotes, and then devolve into a coughing fit. Alara would rush to my side, dabbing my brow with a cool cloth, whispering, "Hush now, my love. Don't exhaust yourself." She'd shoot Mark a look of profound sadness. He has these moments of confusion. She'd say, her voice dripping with false sympathy, "The doctor said it's part of the disease." They all believed her. How could they not? She was an angel. And I was just a crazy, dying old man. I was trapped inside my own body, a silent witness to my own murder. Days blurred into weeks. Each cup of tea, each bowl of soup felt like a countdown. My anger simmered beneath a surface of helplessness. I couldn't fight her. I couldn't expose her, but I could outsmart her. If my life was her prize, then I would change the rules of her game. Revenge wouldn't be loud. It would be silent. It would be permanent. It would be my final act. My plan began with a single, shaky signature. I had my lawyer, Mark, come over. Alara, ever the attentive wife, stayed in the room, watching my every move. I'd practiced for days, willing my hand to obey for just a few crucial moments. On the pretense of updating my will with some minor charitable donations, a detail Alara found noble and endearing. I signed the document. What she didn't know was that Mark had brought two versions. The one she saw was a decoy. The real one, signed with a nearly identical, shaky signature an hour earlier when she was at the market, was very, very different. I had disinherited her. Every penny, every stock, every piece of property was to be transferred to a distant, estranged nephew I hadn't spoken to in 20 years, a man she had never even heard of. The mansion, the cars, the art collection, all of it would be ripped from her grasp the moment my heart stopped beating. The will was ironclad, witnessed, and safely filed away. She was now nursing a man for a fortune that no longer existed. The second part of the plan was more theatrical. I had an old, ornate grandfather clock in my study. It had been in my family for generations. It had a secret compartment, one my father had shown me as a boy, big enough to hold a small tape recorder. During one of my good hours, when Alara was out at one of her charity luncheons, I managed to wheel myself into the study. With agonizing effort, I recorded my story. My voice was weak, raspy, but the words were clear. I described the vial, the drops in my tea, her calm expression. I said, "If you are hearing this, it means Alara has succeeded. She has murdered me. But know this, I saw her do it. I hid the recorder in the clock's secret compartment, along with a small note detailing the location of the real will. The final piece was the cruelest and the most satisfying. I started to refuse her food. I'd knock the tea from her hand, accidentally spilling it. I'd clamp my mouth shut when she brought the soup. At first, she was frustrated. Then, she grew desperate. Her timeline was being disrupted. Every day I remained alive was another day she had to play the part of the doting wife. Another day, the doctors might discover something amiss. The town's sympathy for her started to wane. Whispers began. "He seems to be getting worse since she started caring for him full-time," someone might say. Poor man, he looks so frightened of her sometimes. Her perfect facade was beginning to crack. She couldn't force-feed me without raising suspicion. Her own trap was closing in on her. The end came on a Tuesday. I was weaker than ever, but my mind was sharp. She came into my room, her smile stretched thin, her eyes holding a glint of manic desperation. She held a syringe. No more subtlety, no more drops of poison. This was it. She thought it would look like a heart attack, a final merciful release. "It's time to rest, my love," she whispered, her voice colder than I'd ever heard it. I didn't struggle. I couldn't. I just looked at her. I held her gaze. And as she pushed the plunger, I did the last thing she ever expected. I smiled. It wasn't a big smile, just a small, knowing curl of my lips. A victor's smile. Confusion, then dawning horror flashed across her face. Why was I smiling? What did I know? That question would be the first seed of her personal hell. My funeral was a grand affair, exactly as Alara had planned. She played the part of the devastated widow flawlessly, draped in black, accepting condolences with tragic grace. She was already mentally spending my fortune. The day after, Mark arrived with the police. They had a warrant. Alara was calm, composed. "There must be some mistake," she said, her voice smooth as silk. Mark simply replied, "Henry left me some instructions." They went straight to the study. To the grandfather clock. As the hidden compartment was opened and the tape recorder was played, my weak, raspy voice filled the silent room. If you are hearing this, it means Alara has succeeded. She has murdered me. ... I saw her do it. The blood drained from Alara's face. That was just the beginning. The discovery of the real will was the final, devastating blow. The news spread like wildfire. The woman everyone had admired was a murderer who had done it all for nothing. She had spent months meticulously killing a man for a fortune she would never touch. Her inheritance was gone. Her reputation was shattered. Her freedom was over. She was left with nothing but the chilling memory of my final, knowing smile. My revenge wasn't just about exposing her. It was about making her live with the fact that I had one. She took my life, but I took her entire world. And my last breath was the trigger. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.